Hey everybody, I am back and I am really sorry for such a long time from the last video that I put out. I've had some stuff going on in the last couple months. The biggest thing is that my mother passed away. So in dealing with that and processing all that, I've just kind of put some of my work aside and I'm getting back into it now. I know in the last video I had said that I had other videos planned, but some of those projects are going to get pushed aside for right now. I'm getting really close to market season and I am desperately behind right now. So this video is going to be working on these feedlot sacks, but some of the videos that will be coming out, because having the farm and everything, it's very seasonal for me because I am in northern lower Michigan. So this time of year, I'm outside a lot. I'm working on the farm. I've said it in other videos. Our farm is 120 plus years old, but we just moved here about 3.5 years ago. And it sat abandoned for a very long time. So one of the new video ideas that I think I'm going to start implementing, because every day I have to walk the pastures and check fence lines, clean up the stuff, the old stuff that is working up out of the ground. There's glass and metal and all kinds of things. So one of the video ideas I think I'm going to try and do and see if everybody likes it is like a walk with me, and that way you'll be out and you can see the property, you can see the farm, the critters, and then you can see some of the things that we find out there and how that some of it we throw away, but a lot of it I try to remake and use in my upcycling. So we can just, I can talk about what my idea is when I find something and stuff like that. Another video is idea that I'm going to try is my thrift hauls, because I do thrift a lot to source things for upcycling. So, okay. But let's get back to this. This is actually a feedlot bag. Okay, and it's a very loose woven type of bag, as opposed to a feed sack, which is actually under this pile, which is what we've been working on. These bags, we have a feed mill down the road from our house, and we've been getting a lot of feed from them. The downside for me had been that there wasn't a lot I could do with these because they do pull apart. Once you cut into them, they unravel, so you have to sew them quick. So it took me a little while, and I finally have come up and I've actually got a pile of them. You can see my workroom is a disaster. But I have a pile of them right here, and I am making produce bags for market season. So people won't hopefully use plastic produce bags. And so I'm going to show you how to make them. I make them a little differently than what I have done in the past. And as I do it, I will explain to you why I'm doing it differently, because there are reasons as to why I'm sewing them the way I do. So without further ado, all right, so in a feedlot sack, you'll have the top, right? And that's already obviously been opened. And if you get these and they've been cut open, it's kind of too late. But if they open them correctly, which is a little string that you would unravel to get it open, we're in business. And then I dropped it. There. Okay, so, and I've already started it just to make this quicker, because as you know, I don't have any way of editing videos, so I'm just working with what I got. But at the bottom of the bag, there's another stitch line. And some of them will look like this. Some of them may look like that. Both can be done. But take a seam ripper, and like this one is really easy because once I ripped the first stitch, it just pulls out like this. So you're going to take all of that bottom stitching out. We don't want that. Once you have the bottom stitching out, you're going to fold the bag in half. Oops, there we go. So we've got it folded in half. And at this halfway point, we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut it. Now, once you cut it, you have a very limited time to sew it. So I'm going to cut it now, and then we will get on to the sewing part. The other thing for these bags is, in other videos I've always told you I don't use pins to hold things in place. And with these bags you can't use pins at all because it just makes them unravel faster. So we're going to be on kind of a time crunch. So before I cut this, let me say, one feedlot sack should make 2 produce bags. And to make the handles, which you can see this orange here, you're going to need grow grain ribbon. Don't use a satin ribbon. It does not hold up for this very well. With a grow grain, I found a huge spool, and it's not the prettiest one. It's orange with lemons and limes on it. But I found a huge spool at a thrift store for like a couple of bucks, and the spool had never been used. So it had like, I don't remember if it was 50 or 100 yards on this spool. So I will be using this for a while. But I do know that you can get grow grain that has like 9 or 10 yards, and I don't remember exactly. At Dollar Tree, you can get it in their little floral section, and that'll work just as well, just as long as it is grow grain ribbon. And with your grow grain, you're going to need a lighter, because once you, again, with grow grain, once you cut it, it can unravel a little bit. So you will need a lighter to melt the ends of your ribbon once you cut it before you attach it to your bag. But I'll show you that when we get to that step. So let me cut the bag. All right, the bag is cut, and you can see it's kind of hard to, my phone's not focusing, but it's already starting to unravel a little bit. You can see that there. Another thing that I like to do when I'm working with these bags, because no matter how much you wash them, when you go to cut them, you're going to get feed dust. It's just the way the bag is made, so there's not a lot you can do about it. But I have a little wet wipe here, and you can see I've been working on a little bit, because then what I'll do is I'll wipe everything down after I've made 2 or 3 bags because of that dust. So once you have this, you are going to roll this edge in and then in again. Okay, oops. Okay, so you can see here I've rolled it in and then in again, and that's how I'm going to stitch it. The thing with these bags is you do not turn them inside out before you sew them. Like all the other stuff we do, we've turned it inside out, but with these you don't. Plus, if you try, as you can see, the more I mess with this, the more it unravels. So try and tuck, well, not that, these extra little pieces in as you go. And you're just using your fingers, and I'm doing this, and I'm right-handed, and I'm doing it with my left hand, so sorry about that. Once you've got the bottom of it all rolled and stitched like this, now on this bag, because this top, they didn't seal very well, like this part's sealed, but then over here it's fraying. Excuse me. So I'm going to have to do the same thing on this edge that I did on this edge. Sometimes you won't have to do it. Some of the bags already have a good, I don't know what they do to it, but it basically seals so it's not pulling apart like this. So let me do the roll and stitch again. Again, I'm not turning it inside out. I'm leaving it right side, and I'm just stitching like that. Now that the top is rolled and stitched, go back down to the bottom part. And again, unless there's a picture on your bag, it doesn't really matter which is the top and bottom. But whatever is the bottom for you. And you want to come to the edges, right? The sides of what had been the bag. And you're going to, so this is our center line on the side. And you're going to fold this back up. So you want your seam like this. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to just straight stitch it all the way until you get to the other side. Oops. The other side. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to fold it. Maybe. There we go. You're going to fold it like that. But you're going to straight stitch. So we're not turning it inside out like we did with the other totes. We're going to leave it like that. And the reason for that is almost all produce is damp. Whether you buy it at a grocery store or at a farmer's market, it's almost always damp. They spray water on it to keep it fresh. With our other feed bag totes, it will hold that moisture in. If we stitch it like this and with this loose weave, the moisture has a chance to get out, so you're not getting soggy vegetables by the time you get home. So let me go ahead and stitch that, and then we'll put the handle on it. Okay, oopsie, sorry. I've stitched the bottom, so this is what the bottom should look like. So there's our 2 rolled, and it's got a little, okay, so that's done. The grosgrain, I use about 2 feet in length, and all you're going to do is you're going to come up to this top, and you're going to straight stitch it down on the inside. I have attached the handle. Very, very easy, and don't forget to melt the bottom of this. And there, whoops, if I don't get stuck, there we have it, a reusable produce bag. And I finally found a use for all those feedlot bags. Anyhow, thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram under Howling Moon Farm, and we have an Etsy shop to purchase any of the feed bag creations, plus a lot of my other upcycling projects on Etsy. It's under Howling Moon Farm. Anyhow, I hopefully will get out to the pasture either tomorrow or the next day, and we'll do a walk, and I can give you guys an idea of what I was talking about. Anyhow, I don't know what the next feed bag video will be. I have to go back and look and see what I've done already. And I have a ton of sewing to do in the next month. Anyhow, thanks. Bye.